video, I'm going to be showing you 8 Easter crafts and activities that are perfect for toddlers. Welcome back to my channel. Over the past few weeks I've been doing lots of Easter themed crafts and activities with my 2-year-old, so I thought I'd put them all together today for you in a video to give you a little bit of inspiration if you're looking for some crafts activities to do with your toddler too. I did make a video at this time last year which was Easter crafts that are perfect for a 1-year-old, and I'm sure Ben would enjoy lots of those again this year, so I will link them above and below for you too in case you're looking for some extra ideas. I also do make lots of toddler activity videos on this channel, so please have a think about hitting the subscribe button if that's something that you're interested in. So let's get started with my 8 Easter activities and crafts. Idea number 1 is to make this super cute bunny bunting. Now this is so simple to make, it will use things that you'll probably have around the house anyway, and I think looks really effective. So to start with, I cut out the template of a bunny just on some card that was in our recycling, and then I drew around it on different kind of pastel colours of paper to make lots of different coloured bunnies. Then I gave my 2-year-old Ben some glue and some cotton wool balls, and he just added the little tails to the bunnies. Then I got some ribbon to string the bunting onto, but you could absolutely use string as well, and I cut some little slits into their ears and Ben helped me thread them all on. You just have to be careful which way you thread them on because occasionally we had an upside down bunny and had to take it back off again. Then Ben really wanted to hang one up in his window. We also hung one up on the mantelpiece. It is a super cute Easter decoration.
It was Bunny Bunting. Yes.
And now the bunnies are all in your window. And number 2, we have making chocolate Easter nests. Now this is actually a baking activity, and it's something that is really nostalgic for me because it's something that I actually did as a child. And the great thing about it is that Ben pretty much did the whole process by himself from start to finish. I was just supervising and helping where he needed it. Ingredients wise, you need some chocolate, some shredded wheat, or we had these shredded wheat mini bites, and some mini eggs. The first step is just breaking up the chocolate pieces so that it can be easily melted, and then you also have to break up the pieces of shredded wheat, so you can do this just by crushing it in your hands, which Ben really enjoyed. You can also use a rolling pin to do it to make it go a little bit faster. And then once the chocolate is melted, you're just adding handfuls of this crushed up shredded wheat into the chocolate and mixing it bit by bit so that you make sure that you don't add too much to the chocolate. And then it's just a case of spooning it into the paper cases, pushing it to the sides a little bit so it has a dip in the middle just like a nest does. And then you just add the mini eggs to the top. Lots of our nests in the end only had 1 mini egg in them because lots of them were consumed by Ben in the process. Was it yummy?
Yeah.
Then you just let the chocolate set and harden, and then they're ready to eat. They are so simple, so yummy, and look really cool. Activity number 3 is a twist on decorating some hard-boiled eggs. For this, we picked up this egg dyeing kit, which is essentially just really strong food colourings for the purpose of dyeing eggs, and we got it in Lidl for around £2. Food colouring or paint I think would work as well, but might just turn out to be a little bit messier. So the instructions on the packet for this are just to dye the eggs one colour, but so that Ben could do it as more of an activity, we decided to dye them with a speckled effect using some rice. So all you need is rice and a Tupperware. You add the rice inside and then add a few drops of the food colouring or paint or egg dyes, which is what we used. Then you put the egg in, put the lid in the Tupperware, and then you can give it a good shake, roll around, and then when you open it, the egg will be speckled.
Wow, das schaut ja cool aus.
We then did some multicoloured ones, so we added them back into another colour of rice and gave them another roll once they were dried, and they do look very effective. And the cool thing about this is we then actually set the rice out to dry as well, and Ben had some rainbow rice to play with for some sensory play. I really loved this activity because I thought it was a nice way for young toddlers to decorate eggs, because I think the kind of intricacy involved in drawing something or painting something on a small egg is quite difficult for a 2-year-old. So this way he really got to be involved and create something that was a little bit different. My next activity is to make a tube chick. So for this activity you will need a toilet roll tube or a kitchen roll tube, some coloured paper in different yellows and oranges to cut different shapes out for the parts of the chicken, like the wings. You'll also need some googly eyes and then some feathers if you want to add them too. So I had prepared all the pieces and laid them out for Ben, so it was just a case of him sticking them all together. So he loves to peel the back off of double-sided tape. We rolled the yellow around the tube so that it was a yellow tube to start with. Then he could glue on the beak, a little bit of hair that I added, some feet, some wings, the googly eyes of course, and then some feathers. Then of course he wanted it to have a baby chick, so we made another little one to go with it. And you could create so many of these springtime tube characters. You could make little bunnies with big ears, little lambs, and cover them in cotton wool. And Ben really likes to make something that is 3D as opposed to just making something that's a picture, because then he can actually play with it. After they were made, our chickens spent a long time pecking around for worms. My next activity is another twist on a classic, and that is to make a daffodil Easter bonnet. So I did actually pick up a bonnet just for £1 in the range, and then I thought this is something that we can use again and can also be added to his dressing up box because he loves to pretend to be a scarecrow. You can also make these just by putting some newspaper on your child's head and putting some masking tape around about their crown so that you get the shape of the hat. And then you can decorate it just like we did on the one that we bought. So to actually create the decoration on it, we first of all got Ben to paint the inside and outside of an egg box yellow, and then we left it to dry overnight. The next day we started to put it together, so I put a big long strip of green paper together and Ben cut down on it so that it had a grass effect. This is a really good cutting activity to enhance fine motor skills too. Then I cut some daffodil flower shapes out and cut the bottom out of the egg boxes, and Ben then stuck them together so that they looked like daffodils and then stuck them onto the bonnet. I think this bonnet looks so cute and Ben was so excited to finally wear it too.
And some grass.
And some grass, did you make it?
Yeah.
My next activity is another one involving eggs, but that is to make some Cress Eggheads. So every Saturday or Sunday morning we always have crepes together as a family, so I just kept a few of the eggs that we used for that bag and was really careful to just open them at the top and pour the egg out from the top so that we had something that looked a little bit like a face left. I had ordered some cress seeds on Amazon, and you do also need some paper towels as well and a marker of some form or different coloured pens. So first of all, Ben actually drew little faces using the black marker onto the eggs. Of course, these are adorable because a 2-year-old's version of a face is so cute. Then he stuffed the kitchen towels inside. You need about 4 or 5 layers of kitchen towel inside it, and then he used his little jug to pour a bit of water into it as well. Then we sprinkled the cress seeds in so you have a nice thin layer of them. We did have a lot of cress seeds, so we also decided to do some in a little Tupperware too. Then you put them all inside a polythene bag and put them somewhere dark until they start to grow. In a few days we'll hopefully be able to take them out, then we'll set them to grow in the light and Ben can watch them do that, and they're ready to harvest in 10 to 12 days, so it's a really quick process for toddlers to see from seed to plant. He'll then also be able to trim the hair off the top of our eggs, so make sure you're following me on Instagram so that you can see our finished eggs as well. Activity number 7 is to create an Easter bunny headdress. Now this activity is great because it really only involves some white and coloured card. To start with, I cut out some strips from a piece of white card and stuck them together using some double-sided tape so that they would go all the way around Ben's head. Then I just cut out a larger white ear shape and a slightly smaller pink ear shape. You could also have your toddler colour in the inside of the ear if you only had white card as well. Then, super simply, Ben stuck them all together using some double-sided tape, and then he had great fun hopping around the whole house with his Easter bunny headdress on. I think he looks adorable, and it's something that he is super excited to wear when we have an Easter egg hunt next weekend. However, the Easter bunny has already been visiting Ben, which you will see from my next activity, which is the forest Easter egg hunt. Now this is something that Thomas's parents actually did with him when he was a child, and it really convinced him about the existence of the Easter Bunny for a really long time. So last weekend we went for a walk in the forest with Ben, and we told him that the Easter Bunny had maybe dropped some eggs when he'd been out for a walk. So we were always walking about and looking for eggs on the ground. Ben was choosing the way that we were going in the forest, and we were throwing some Easter eggs onto the path ahead of him so that he was looking around and constantly finding them no matter which direction he chose to go in. While he was looking in one direction, we would sneakily throw one in the other, and it meant that he was constantly finding them along the path. We did take a little basket for him to put all the Easter eggs in, and he had such a great time and was so excited that the Easter Bunny had already been by.
Oh, I see one.
This is also like a low maintenance way to do an Easter egg hunt because you don't have to be somewhere previously in order to hide lots of eggs. Now I'd love to hear from you below in the comments if you have any other ideas or other things that you've been doing with your toddlers for Easter crafts and activities. I am always looking for more inspiration. If you've enjoyed today's video and are looking forward to trying out some of these activities, please remember to give the video a like and subscribe if you're not already and would like to see more videos like this. It's completely free and just helps to support my channel. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Bye bye!